tell you the scope of your test or the final paper. So remember, there will be some questions on subnetting, and those questions you don't have to, you just have to put the values there, but you have to solve them on the sheet also. So you have to show how you calculated them. So a separate sheet will be given to you, and you have to enter only the final answer on the system, and you have to submit that sheet in the end. So it's not like that you just take it home for rough purpose or only. If you need some extra paper for rough purpose, you can get those papers also. But that sheet you are going to submit, like answer sheets basically. So there will be some questions on subnetting. So when we are talking subnetting, we are talking about class A, class B, class C. They are included in them default. What are their subnet mask? Okay. Last chapter, transport layer protocol. You have to read through everything through it. If I'll just share my screen with you, I'll share you. Can you please confirm whether you can see my screen or not? Yes?
We can see your screen, sir.
Okay. So transport layer protocol, I covered only 50 slides in it. So whatever the information in it, like, do you want to say anything? Can you please mute your mic? Yes. So in transport layer protocol, basically it's TCP and UDP. Okay. So how it's different from network layer, what happened when you are using a transport layer protocol as compared to the network layer, services and protocols, and how it works. So maybe a scenario will be given to you, and the question might ask whether it's related to a network layer or it's related to a transport layer. Okay. And then you have TCP and UDP. Which one is reliable? Which one is not reliable? Which one is used in which type of communication? Like if you see that why there is a UDP, no connection establishment, simple no connection state at sender and receiver, small header, no congestion control. So these are the things with the UDP. And where do we use UDP? I don't know what. Yeah, it's showing now. Sorry. So UDP use, where we are going using UDP. And if we need a reliable communication over UDP, then we use this version of it for HTTP. And how it's different from TCP. So TCP is a reliable way of communication, and it requires handshaking before you actually start sending the information. Internet checksum, for that you have to go through the video of internet checksum. So whatever I covered in transport layer protocol, you have to prepare it as it is. So nothing is you are going to skip. And in that, as I told you during the lecture also, that you have to look at these things for the calculation. Okay, what is your go back n sender and go back n receiver? So the scenario will be given to you, let's say in the form of this, and you have to explain which one scenario is this, whether it's a go back or it's a selective repeat, go back or selective repeat. And then you have this different retransmission structure. So let's say first one is lost acknowledgement. So suppose I put this as a picture on the exam. So you have to answer that whether this is lost acknowledgement scenario, or there are maybe another options, premature timeout, or maybe it's a cumulative acknowledgement covers for earlier lost acknowledgement. So all these sort of questions are going to come in the exam from this chapter. Okay. Then you have all the different types of protocols which we studied like CIDR. You must know. Must know what is FTP. You must know what is SMTP, how it works, and what's the purpose of these protocols we are used for. How the DNS database works. Different classes of subnetting. I already told you what is DHCP and how it works. Different versions of IP protocol like your version 4 and version 5. And then I'm not talking all this from this chapter. They are from different chapters. Okay. So this, and you must know about the delays, the different types of propagation delays we did in chapter 1. So these are the main scope of the exam. So if you have some other questions related to the scope, then please go ahead, raise your hand, and I will answer. So it's not going to be more on the theoretical side. It will be like basics of your protocols, more subnetting, Dijkstrau algorithm is there, or we can say sometimes it doesn't come as Dijkstrau algorithm, it comes as shortest path algorithm, which you are doing for your assignment purpose also. So this is the main coverage of the test. And when I'm saying coverage, the chapter 1 will be the part of it. If I go through your Blackboard, let me go through your Blackboard. Just give me a second. I'm just logging into the Blackboard. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
Okay, so the questions which we have here, you have to go through these questions, and then you have, if I open this chapter 1, so what's the difference between your circuit switching and your packet switching that you have to study? If you can see this packet switching, circuit switching, store and forward. So you must know all these how to calculate these things, which we did in test 1. Then you have this. That's the main thing which you have to study from the chapter 1. What are the different types of fiber you use, or sorry, the connection cables you use, like coaxial cable, fiber optic cable, and what are the different sources of packet delay. So you need to know all this. Kera1 technology analogy, the one which we explained earlier. So basically, you have to know all these. What is D nodal, D this processing, D Q, D transmission, D propagation. So you must know all this. Then if I go to chapter 2. In application layer, I told you that you must know what are your web and HTTP protocols, what is FTP, what these three protocols, SMTP, POP3, IMAP, DNS, what are the application in which we use them. You need not to know anything about the socket programming. I think I removed this from the slides also. Client server architecture and peer-to-peer architecture. How they are same and how they are different from each other. What is a process? What is a client process? What is a server process? So you must know this. HTTP details how it works. What is the difference between non-persistent HTTP, and persistent one? So this is the persistent one, and on the previous one was non-persistent. How it works means how you upload these things on this. What are cookies and how cookies keep the state of a client on a server. This is explained here, and how you use web cache in the proxy server. So basically, I think I explained you earlier also. The proxy server is usually situated in places like university or it works as a restriction on the users, what they can do and what they cannot do. But it has an advantage that this can be used to reduce the time uh, through which or the time required to receive a file from the server. So because the proxy server stores the information of whatever the request went through it, so it can be used for that purpose also. However, it's basically the basic function of this is to check the contents which a user can access while in that particular network. That's more like that of that stuff. Different caching example and the different amount of delays or the time required reduced or increased if we are using this. So you must be having some questions based on this, that how you will access if you are using this, then what will be the speed and how it's going to affect the performance of the network. So this is all about your chapter 2. Then you have in this subnetting, I told you that different types of network will be given to you, and you have to find the number of some subnets and number of users, broadcast address, and you have to solve them on the paper. Dijkstra algorithm, so you need to go through it again. For the network layer and data link layer, you must go through mainly the examples, different types of example videos I created, which are basically here. And this, all these example one, checksum, redundancy, Hamming, how you will calculate them, and what will be the, I think they are on autoplay. So if you go to network layer, so network layer data link. So in this data link, you must know how we do your error detection. What is the use of error detection? What are you saying something? Anyone? Parity checking, how you do it, internet checksum. So we have different videos for all these things, which are part of your data link. What are different your multiple access protocol, and how they are used, what's the advantage associated with them. The only thing then left is your network layer. So in network layer, your network layer. So this is your longest prefix matching. So the questions related to it, IP, what is IP? Basically, it's an internet protocol, and what are different versions of it? What is your MTU? Let's the question comes. What is your, so it's a maximum transmission unit. So it's basically your 1500 bytes which you can send in this. So it works, how it works in this. So it's a fragmentation of it. Then different subnets. What is CIDR, DSCP, how it works. Different example of your network address translation, your net. So you just need to know the basics of them. So if I say with respect to IP version 6 that come from here, it's a 32-bit address, okay, and how much is the length of it. In a similar way for IP version 4, you must know what is the length of it and what are the changes in it as compared to IP version 4. So this is your checksum removed entirely to reduce processing time at each hop. Options are also included, and an advanced version of ICMP is used in this one. So this is all about your test from my side. Now I want you to ask any questions from your side, and then there are some people who have a problem with respect to GNS3. Remember, just let me show you the GNS3 thing also. So if I open it, so what you need to do in GNS3, I'm just taking an example. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you see the screen which I shared now? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what you have to show is, let's say question number 2. So you will bring a router and then you will bring another router, and you have to use this to provide the connection to them. So if I'm using Ethernet 10 here, and let's say, sorry, try to use internet Ethernet interface on both of them. Okay, so you have this. Then what you will do is you just need to, whatever your subnet is between these two routers, let's say suppose it's 16.1.0.0. So like in second question, if you have, if I'm not wrong, it says that AB number of hosts. So what you will show is that my subnet ID between these two routers which are connected, let's say, is this, and these are connected by this subnet ID. Whatever your, suppose I'm saying that it is 255.255.255.0, then you will write 24 here. So it's basically your CIDR information. You will write it. You will just provide an IP address to one of these, you say duplicate. So you can just provide an IP address to one of the routers. Apply, okay. In a similar way, you will provide an IP address to this, the another one router. And then you can just go into, you will run it, and then you will go into one of them, just one of them, and you will click it, you will run it. Then what will happen is that this will appear. So just do your IP addressing as I explained in the previous video for only one router, not for all. Like for R1 and R2, I already did the configuration here. So if I say IP interface, okay, maybe it's not done. So what you will do here is you will go there and you will go to the interface on which you want to do. So you will write configure terminal. So now you enter into the configuration mode. Can you see this extra window which is appearing on it? Please confirm when I'm writing some programming things on it. Can you please confirm?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay, thank you. So you have to go there, and then in a similar way, as I explained in the previous videos, you have to provide the IP address to these two routers, and you just have to include it in your submission of your project. So you don't have to show it for all the hosts available there. You will just use it, do it for the first one, for first, like let's say AB number of hosts. So let's say first, let me pop up that uh, assignment only, and I think I can explain it better. Desktop, data networks, assignment here. So this is there. So what you need is that a class IP address, this is given to you, is given. So you have to subnet it so that you have at least two subnets of AB number of hosts. So when you will be representing in the form of you have to calculate it yourself depending upon your student number. But for the submission purpose for the GNS3, you will do is that you will use this. This is my address, and then I'll go to GNS3 and I will do text edit. So I'll make this 1, apply, okay. I'll make this, because this is my subnet here, and this one will be 2. And then in a similar way, you have to go, and this you have to do the configuration for the interface to which you are connected. So on this interface, so you don't know what this interface is. So now when you will click this part, oh, it's popping different. When you will click this, ABC is written here, then it will show which interface you are in. So you will go here on the router. I click it so many times, so it was showing too many. So now you have R1, R2, R3, R4. Depending upon how many routers you have, this window will appear to you. So we'll go here as we were there. So we will say configure configure terminal. So then you are on the configuration terminal, and then you will write the interface on which you want to do this. So what's the interface we are doing? It's E1/0. So we will write interface E1/0. So you are now on this. Now you will provide the IP address you want to provide here. So you will write IP address. What was that? It was 196.1.1, and then you will provide the associated whatever your subnet is. That I'm not telling you now. So whatever your subnet will be, you will write, sorry, you will write your subnet address there, and then you will enter. So you just have to show me, and then you have to type no shutdown. So this line will go up. So you just have to show me the print screen of this part where you do the changes up to this point. You have to submit the print screen of this with your submission. The similar way you have to do it for question number 3. So you don't have to do ping and everything. You just have to show me that you assign the IP address to them. Now this is all from my side. Now,
Sorry, sir.
any queries, please go ahead. Yes.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so you don't have to. We don't have to run the whole thing. You just have to maybe run 4, because I was having problem when I was running all of those routers at the same time.
How many routers you are using? You are using
2, 4, 6, 6.
But why you
Sorry,
are
sir.
using 6?
Sir?
Why you are using 6 there routers?
I thought we were using 6, sir.
Yeah. Nothing has been given by me to you to use 6 routers now.
Okay, so you can use only 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Or if you want to share, if you have any problem, you can share your screen to me now. I allowed everyone to share their screen if they want to. If you have any errors, like I have seen someone send me WhatsApp, then please share your screen. Maybe I can help you in resolving the issue you have. And I think you're the same person who sent me the message. I think Odwa, you sent me the message.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So you can share your screen, or you can let me know the time when you want me to look at your shared screen. I don't have any problem out of this lecture. Okay. Anyone else?
Okay.
Please.
Yes, sir. I've got a question, sir.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Natsukwana. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay.
It's
Talk. There's someone who wants to talk before me, so I'll wait for that person to talk.
okay. Thanks, man. It's Mr. Loic talking, sir.
Go ahead.
The question is about the question 2 of the assignment, sir. You said that it is not AB number of hosts. I am a bit confused in that fashion. Like, does it mean that, let's say, if A is equal to 8 and B is equal to 9, it means that I'm gonna have 89 hosts, or am I gonna have 8 hosts for the first subnetting and 9 hosts for the second subnetting?
No, it's always 89.
89. So basically, it's one subnetting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you must have, whether you have 100, 200, but they should not be less than 89.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, Doc. I want to find out because my connection on the GNS, the line is not the same as yours, so I don't know if there's something wrong with it. But I'm going to show you now, Doc.
Tell me one thing. Did you download it on desktop or you are using it using web?
It's on desktop. I downloaded it. I'm not using it online.
Okay. Show me if you can, or let's take it in the end. If people wants to see it, they can stay in the lecture or they can leave.
Okay.
Okay.
And another question is on the FACER, Doc. Are we writing on paper or are we writing online, like on computers? Because I saw a question where someone asked that the questions that are long, something about questions that are long, and then you mentioned something that those that need calculations will be written on paper. So
Yes.
I'm kind of confused there.
Yeah, you will be solving. There will be 4 or 5 questions in the FISA for which you have to do manual calculations, and you have to submit those calculations also. And the remaining paper is online. Means you will be doing it on Blackboard. Obviously, you have to come to the campus to write the test.
Okay, Tom. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Yes, Janelle, go ahead, please.
So my question is about the long ones. On the long one, what if you write it, you write, and then you don't get the answer that is on the online?
That's why you have to, they will be marked step by step.
So you choose any from the online since your answers are not matching.
So if I'm not, look, if everything is okay, suppose your answer is matching, your calculations are right, you will get 100% marks. But if your calculations are right up to, let's say 50% point, then you will get 50% marks on that question. Okay. Because you will be submitting the handwritten solution of that question also.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. NN. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, Doc. I forgot to ask one last question.
Yes,
the
please.
The report, you said you want it to be a maximum of 5 pages.
Yes.
No more than 5 pages.
Now it's okay if you make it 6 or something, but if you are making it 15 pages, then it's not okay for me.
No, I don't intend on making it 15 pages. The thing is, Doc, you mentioned that you don't want certain things on the report, like what table of content, I'm not sure, something like that. But the introductions and stuff, you still want it to be in the format of report.
Yes, I don't want a table of content because I want you to understand how to write technically about a topic. I don't want you to submit a thesis kind of thing for me right now. So okay. I want you to understand how to write a small paper with the help of which you are explaining certain topic. So you don't need to go for like writing table of content, what are abbreviations and all those stuff. Currently, you just need to give me the details the way I ask you to write in that.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
Nothing more than that. Yes, Lavanda Gozo, Lucano Gozo, please.
Yes, sorry, sir. I wanted to ask, what is the total mark for the exam?
It's of 100 marks, and when I'm going to enter it for the progress marks, it will be 50%.
Okay. And also, when I was doing the model tests, I find out that some of the questions, like for chapter 1, they were not appearing on the model test. So I was a bit confused. How are we going to prepare for those other questions? Other chapters, I mean.
Can you please send me the screenshot which are not appearing on your site?
No, like what I mean is, like when I was doing like the model test that you posted on Blackboard, like For example, on chapter 1, since there are propagation delay calculations and transmission delays, on that model test, there are no such questions for propagation delays and things like that.
Yeah, because similar questions I already look, I created mostly the questions which we have not covered, mostly specific to the last chapters. I covered propagation delay questions well in, can say, uh, I think 7 or 8 questions I already covered when I was doing that chapter. So I have not included anything on propagation delay when I was doing that model paper, so that you can have an idea of the chapters which are coming for FISA more. So propagation delay, the topic has been covered extensively when we were doing it earlier. So at this moment, I have not covered that part, but it will be the scope of your test.
And is it possible that you can upload the previous test that we wrote?
Test 1 and test 2, you are saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but I will upload them as a document. I want to be able to put them as another test for which you can try. Okay. Otherwise, it will be going to change the marks for your evaluation which I have done. All right.
Okay. And also,
Say
please upload. Is it
the name.
possible that you
Mr. R, sorry, Rishley, can you please pause for a moment? Yes, Gozo, please go ahead.
is it possible also that you post the questions, I mean answers for the test also when you upload the test?
I'll upload everything. I will upload questions with answer, everything in the form of document. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Risley, go ahead.
Hello, sir. I wanted to know if you're going to remove the model test. Because I was just wondering if surprisingly it won't be there anymore. Maybe a day before the exam.
So, please come again. I'm not able to understand what you're saying.
So I was asking if you were going to remove the model test the day before the exam, or is it's gonna be there until the actual exam?
You want to do it the like you are writing on 15th, so you want to write it on 14th also, you are saying?
I mean, I was just wondering because I was in a rush to do it, but I wanted to do it a bit 2 days or one day before the actual exam. So
But
I was wondering if
I
you.
allowed five attempts to it, if I'm not wrong. It must be there, still there.
Yes, I know it's there. I was just wondering if you're going to remove it or it's gonna be there until the exam.
I think it will be there if I'm not wrong, but I'll check and I'll make sure that it's there up to the exams.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome. Yes, Ronnie. Yes, Ronnie, please go ahead. Okay. Ronnie, do you have any question? Because your hand is coming up and down. So nobody is having any other question. Ronnie, please go ahead if you have any questions. Loic Kibambo, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. The question is the following: is it possible for us, like, to get probably test 1 and test 2, like those tests that we wrote? Is it possible to get them again and with the answers, so that also we can see maybe where we made mistakes and where
I said to, I don't know, I forgot the name, that
Okay.
I will upload them as a document, separate documents, but they will not appear again as a test, means on which you can write it again. But I'll try to do it in some other way if the Blackboard allows. Otherwise, sometimes it overwrite your marks. So I don't want to be in a problem.
Yes.
However, I entered your marks of test 1. I'll enter test 2 marks also. Then I can do. I'll try that.
Okay, thanks, sir. And just another question for the final. So we're also getting multiple questions on some of the questions, right? Multiple choice.
You will be getting multiple choice. Most of the questions will be multiple choice, but you have to solve some questions on the answer sheets, and then you have to submit them also.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr.
No.
Ronnie.
I have a question, sir, about DNS3.
Yes, please.
Some of my connections, as it's supposed to show, okay, just let me share a video of it so that you can see. Some of my connections, they're supposed to show like E0 when you appear, when you show the name on the routers, but some of them, they come with F0 and F1. I don't know if that is a problem.
No, that's not a problem. The only difference is that to try to use them E0.
Yes, sir.
Because then you are connecting them with the same speed. So what happens is that when you are using F is your fast Ethernet, and
Yeah,
E is your Ethernet. So let me show you. Just go stop sharing. Then I'll show you how it works on mine one.
okay.
Okay. So you need to. So when you will go there, you go configure, and you have these things here. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. I'm actually doing it.
Depending upon what you do here, you can increase your slots. So if you are not able to see your Ethernet there, means you have less number of Ethernet ports or the Ethernet interface, you can increase them from here. Okay, so whatever the number of your you will apply, and you will say okay. So when you will click here, let's say you will see that they increase now.
Yes, sir.
So you can increase them. So suppose you feel that you don't have enough number of Ethernet ports, so you can increase them also. But I don't think so that in your case it will be a problem. It's only 2 or 3 ports you require.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Anyone else with any questions? Ronnie, again. Natsua Kwana, you want to share your screen also? Please go ahead now. And
Yes, Doc, because I also say that.
just a minute. If anyone wants to leave, they can leave, because nothing for me to discuss now. If you have any queries, please go ahead. So if you have any queries, please, this is your chance to go for it, and then I can see the screen.
Doc, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Do you see the line between the two routers?
Yeah.
Is it wrong if I do it like that, or must there be a straight line? Sorry for the noise.
I think you are, if you are using this line, you are editing a picture, if I'm not wrong. Or are you using GNS3 for that? NS3?
I used it on the GNS3, yes. And when I select this line from the first router to the second router, I always get the line to be like that. I don't know why. It doesn't give me a straight line.
Okay, maybe it's some other version you are using. That's okay if it's correct.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
You're welcome. Anyone else with any problems regarding NS3 or some other queries?
Yes, sir. I have one question regarding the value that we are supposed to put into DNS3. Like for question 2, for instance, you said that we're gonna have, for instance, a certain value of the subnetting that we're gonna get, like with the IP address. But where exactly are we gonna use that value into DNS3? Because I'm not really understanding that part. I'm a bit confused.
if you see
Yes.
here, this was the basically your IP address which you are having there.
Yes.
Depending on that IP address, you have to write the value whether it's 24 or not. So remember that I wrote it as 24 here. It doesn't mean that your subnet mask is there. It was because I copied the previous one. That's why it is 24. So it should be something which you have to bring it yourself. What is
Okay.
this? What is this value of CIDR that you have to write yourself? So if you see the assignment, then for assignment you have this IP address given to you, and you have to create a subnet of
Subnet.
it so that you have at least two subnets of this much number of hosts. So if I have 8 and 9 as A and B, then 89 must be my host in both the subnets. So when you are creating subnet, so you basically creating subnet, let's say between these two routers we are creating that. So you have this part to show your main subnet address, and then you are dividing it one here. So depending upon the different interface you will provide the address, you will have different subnets here. So I'm not asking you to create, let's say, 4 subnets or 10, 20 subnets here. So you have to create only 2 subnets, one on this side, one on this side, let's say. So I just want you to give an overview of how you will provide IP address to any interface. So this part of the question is different from what you are doing in the calculations. So in this part, you will be only using so you can say that this part is same for everyone. 196.1.1.1 will be same. This will be same. This will be same. The only thing which might be different here will be your subnet mask, depending upon your, let's say, on number of hosts. So it will be different. So you have to enter that value here yourself, and you just have to use this plot, sorry, this figure as your, not the above one. You just have to use this R3 and R4 one to show your subnets there. And when you are showing it, the main thing which you have to do is you have to run it. You have to write your IP address, this one, on this router. You have to write IP address on this router as I explained previously. So you will click here, and then you will write the IP address for both of them. Okay, so it was already open there. So R3 and R4. So you have to go on I3 R4 and you have to configure the interface. Any interface you can configure, but we are using E10 here, E1/0 here. So you have to configure E1 divided by 0 or E1/0, whatever you want to say, on R3, and this one on this. And you have to make it no shutdown. It must show that it's up. So up to that point, you have to put your screenshot on the submission of your assignment. And in a similar way, you have to do it for the other one, the question number 4. You have to create 4 routers, and you have to assume, depending upon this address, let's say one is 129.1.0.1, another one is 2, 3. So you have to assume one subnet ID between this, subnet ID between this, subnet ID between this, subnet ID between this, and then you have to provide them IP address to this R2 and R4, and you have to just show me the configuration of only 2 routers for question 4 also. So you don't have to go in too many details to show me the ping and all those things. That's all I require from you. And I hope it's clear to you now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I'll upload this on Blackboard also once it will be downloaded. And thanks and all the best for the test. So I'll see you on 15th at 9 o'clock. Okay. Keep well, and please bring your submissions with you. If someone will have any problems in submission or something, then if you have can say.
Where's the venue, Doc?
Sorry?
Venue for the visa.
It must be on your list. I can check it for you right now. It's 15 June. You can see it's on GenCore. All 6 computer rooms. Okay, so I think it's downstairs in GenCore, if I'm not wrong. Are you able to see this?
Thanks, Doc. I can see it.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this is all required for the test, and all the best, and see you on 15th. Thank you.